What's going on, YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. Welcome to the table. Today, we're going to discuss something very, very important. Very, very important. Why most women do not qualify for a high-value man. You know, the space right now that is the manosphere and relationships and all things involved, all things in this space, have discussed this, continue to discuss it. And one of the biggest disconnects, I believe, is that the understanding, first of all, of what it is, one, to be considered high value, and then what that particular man wants, what that particular man looks like, what that particular man thinks like, what he expects. Disconnect. So, I'm going to do my best to articulate what I know true in fact to be what these men look like, how they move, what they expect, what they want, so on and so forth. So, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. I've been trying different concepts on my channel on how I'm going to go about things, just learning this YouTube journey. So thank you guys for who's rocking with me. I appreciate it. And continue to go ahead and give me support. Like the video, share the video, give me your feedback. I much appreciate it. So, it's time to step into the kitchen and get cooking. That's what we're doing. Now, the reason why I believe most women do not qualify for high-value men, the main reason is because the truth and the fact, there's people like Kevin Samuels, MTR, The Roommates, Fresh and Fit, and other content creators that are speaking on this topic and trying their best to bring some clarity and some continuity to it. Now, Kevin particularly has been the one who has, as of recently, orchestrated this concept into the mainstream, more so in the Black community, and giving us something to identify with, because high value men has not been something that most people have ever heard, nor seen, nor interacted with, right? And it's caused a lot of conversations. Well, what I believe is happening even more so is that it's getting men to understand if they are high value or not, because it's an identifier, and then women to understand if they qualify for high value men or not. And I think why the women are responding the way they respond is because a lot of them know truth and fact to the depth of their soul that they do not qualify. Why is that, ladies? Why do you not qualify? Is it because you're not good enough? Is it because you are not unique enough? Is it because you aren't smart enough, pretty enough? No. I'll tell you what I believe it is, down to its core, down to what I know true in fact, because I have experienced these situations, I've experienced these interactions, I've been around these high value men, I've been around women who have high value men, and it is a different experience. The main reason why most women do not qualify for the high value man is because in order to secure one, ladies, you have to be prepped for it. You literally have a life that is dedicated towards just that fact. What do I mean? What I mean is that someone, whether it was your mother, your grandmother, your collective family, see, high value women are not usually by accident. And the concept that is you thinking just because you're a woman and you may be relatively cute, or you may be smart, or you may be funny, because what I hear time and time again, night after night, because I listen to these same content creators, I hear that women don't truly understand what the heck men want, men in general, let alone high value men, what men want, and then what high value men want, what the woman he's looking for acts like, looks like, and truly brings to his life as value. They don't have a clue. And instead of just saying, you know what, we don't know, the pride, the ego that exists in most women, modern women, is what puts most men off, let alone high value men. Now, going back to my original point, ladies, the reason why you don't know what high value men want, nor do you qualify, most of you, for it, is because you've never really interacted with women who have these high value men. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why that is. In my interactions, these men are of tremendous influence. It's not just their money. That's one aspect of them. But their influence is what is of tremendous value in itself. They hold positions in politics. They hold positions in business. They hold positions sometimes in royalty, in different sectors that have gotten them to gain the position that is their value. Now, what happens with these particular men is when they secure a woman, they are now in the process of indoctrinating her into her newfound role, her new life. These women do not, let me rephrase that. These women are not allowed to spend time with women that are beneath that level of lifestyle. What do I mean? What I mean is that the high value man usually, if not exact instruct, but most of the time she knows, she understands once she secures this man, her job is that man. Her job is his overall happiness, satisfaction, peace of mind, and collective things of that nature. That woman's job is that man. That's her job. This means that her identity, her happiness, her desires, her interest comes secondary to anything that he needs her for. What does that look like? That means that he is not going to allow her to have relationships with women that will first bring any type of toxic behavior, toxic rhetoric, or opinions that are contradictory to her focal point, her focus, her understanding of her position. And why is that, ladies? Why is that? Because one, most men know this, but specifically high value men know this. If I allow my woman, who understands who she is, what she has, what her purpose is, what her job is, and she, being a high value man's woman, wife, spends time with low level thinking women, it is just a matter of time that those ideals, those viewpoints, and those opinions are going to now have her second guess her practices, her life choices, and so on. Why? Because women are packed influence people. Women migrate around other women and feed off of each other. The ideals that most women have are not individual ideals. This is the reason why you can talk to a woman and ask her questions and then talk to a completely different woman across town, across the nation, and they may have very similar responses because women feed off of the same type of information and they formulate their thought as a unit. Now, this is a dangerous recipe for a high value man because a high value man, once he has his woman, she's secured him, he secured her. He needs her to be focused, sharp, disciplined, and understand her true value and role. Why? Because his overall legacy and things of that nature depend on it. To the point that he has made her an asset in his life. And he is not going to allow anyone to come in and corrupt his momentum, his purpose, and his legacy. So that's one. Two, high value women work. And what I mean by work, I don't mean labor like a job. No, I mean from the time that they understand that their mission in life is to find one of these men, they are dedicated to their fitness. They are dedicated to their habits. They are usually very educated in the sense that they have information about history. They can keep up, conversations in environments that are red carpet ready or ball-like environments. Things where you would take a woman who has poise and etiquette. You wouldn't take some ghetto ratchet chick who can't read past a 4th to 5th grade level to a ball. You wouldn't do it. And that's one of the biggest differences behind why a lot of you women do not qualify for a high value man. See, the real thing is, and I wish women would just be more honest, you do not want the man. Kevin says this all the time. You really don't want the man. You want the resources. You want the lifestyle. You want to be able to live a life you did not earn. And that's the biggest problem. There's some fallacy in this in the environment where women collectively think that getting one of these men is like, how do I put it? It's how do I want to put this? There's this fallacy that I get one of these men and then my life is set. You know, I secure one of these men and yeah, I'm lucky. You are lucky. You're blessed. If you can secure a high value man, you are blessed. But let me tell you what the part that they don't tell you about. Because again, I've been around these women. I've been around these men. I've interacted with both. And the complete differences in the way that they move and the way that they interact, you wouldn't even recognize or understand because you have not been prepared. You have not been prepped. You have not been cultured for it. You have not been trained for it. That's a better word. And why can I say that? Because of the behavior that I see that is exemplified, the mindset and the attitude behind the average modern woman today. See, the average modern woman today thinks that it's all about them, thinks that somehow, some way, your value is more important, your opinion is more important, your feelings is more important, and what you ultimately want out of life is more important than what that man that is the high value man wants. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies, that's no. What happens is when you secure a high value man, your identity becomes nil. It becomes non-existent. Means that you are acquired. You know how companies acquire other companies, like Google may buy, well, actually, Facebook buy Instagram, right? Facebook absorbed Instagram. So as Instagram is Instagram, it is a Facebook entity. It is encompassed. The company that is behind Instagram is Facebook, right? Now, and I'm just trying to use examples so that hopefully I can drive this point and hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. As a woman that understands her job is the man, she is not seeking to build a life individual of his. She is not seeking to formulate a social circle that solely benefits her. She is not seeking to acquire certain types of identity-based things that is going to bring her validation to make her feel she is smart and equipped and all of these things that come with going out into this world and building yourself. That's not what a traditional high-value woman that secures a high-value man thinks like or looks like. A high-value woman usually understands, in most if not all cases, that the work starts early. This is why she needs to read. This is why she needs to stay fit. Staying fit is not because she just wants to just look good for herself. No, she understands that it is based on survival and competition. Because when she gets to the age to where she can be acquired by one of these men, 18 through 25 or whatever, she is going to have to look her best, present the best option to secure this man. She is going to have to stand amongst other women who have been prepped just like her, who have been taught from an early age. Look, sweetie, when this is what you do. You need to find this kind of man who makes this kind of money so that you can secure a lifestyle for your survival. This man is going to want you to be fit. This man is going to want you to be compliant. This man is going to want you to be pretty much on his program, on his page. Your job, sweetie, is to serve him. That's your job. It's not about you having fun. It's not about your happiness. It's not about you being emotionally stimulated, sexually stimulated, pleased. It's not about that. Your job as a high value woman is to please that man, serve that man. I never forget when I was at a dinner amongst these people and this is when I was becoming introduced to certain tiers of people, certain collective industries and things of that nature, right? And one thing I used to watch because of these men's position and then the women that they have with them. And what was interesting is that it wasn't always their wife. But anyway, these women were so attentive. I mean, so just for the story. So I remember the man was sitting down having a conversation with his colleague next to him, right? And then the woman was having a conversation with a woman next to her. But the way she was having the conversation was like she had one eye on the girl and one eye on her man. And I thought that was odd because if you're observing it from a non-trained eye, it could appear rude because it's usually taught, hey, when someone's talking to you, you do eye contact, you talk to them straight, you know, you have this representation, you present yourself to where I'm listening, I'm tuned in, I'm locked in, right? Well, she was paying the woman attention, but she was paying her man more attention. To the point to where her girlfriend that she was talking to, the moment, and I literally mean the moment, maybe 5-10 seconds, that her man's glass of whatever he was drinking, I think it was like brandy or some type of alcohol, some drink he was drinking. The moment the glass was empty, she was already waving over the server and the waitress, you know, to refill the glass. He didn't even have to raise his glass. He didn't even have to ask. She was already in tune and knew he was going to want another one. And even if he didn't want another one, she was going to make sure it was there just in case he wanted another one. And she did it so smooth. It was so subtle. You know, she was like, she kind of paused and silenced her friend from talking, but it was the way she did it. And I'm observing and watching this whole thing. She got the attention of the server. She signaled, you know, and they came on over. She had grabbed the man's glass, not to disrupt his conversation with his colleague. She grabbed the glass, placed it in front of her, got it refilled, and then placed it back without disrupting this man's conversation. He seen it, he acknowledged it with a slight nod as he continued this conversation. And in just that moment of me observing that, I was like, wow, how? Like, how did he get her to conduct herself in a way nonverbal to where she knew what to do? And it later came down as time went on, when I continued to be around these type of people, that woman, again, was prepped for just that lifestyle. See, she understood she was not there because she was important, or at least more important than him. She understood that she was there to make her man look good, to not only present in her package what she looked like, her physique, her beauty and all that, her poise and all that, but also to attend to him even while she was there. That was her job if she wanted that man. And I found that to be profound. Now, the reason why I think a lot of women, and I know I'm going long today, but I feel like I have to go long today, and I may continue to expound upon this, and that's fine. You know, hopefully you guys are gaining some knowledge from this particular broadcast. But I wanted to talk about this because it still seems to be such a disconnect. See, we need to stop, you know, as a community and as a people, stop acting like you are more superior in where you fall in the world than you are. If you are a quality person, that's great. If you're a good person, that's great. But there are certain lifestyles, there are certain, doors, there's certain societies per se that unfortunately you're not always going to be privy to. And that's just how the world works. See, I think why a lot of women have a problem with hearing about high value men and then hearing about you not being fit or you not being pretty enough or all of these things. Because, Kevin's a genius. Kevin is very smart in how he delivers his information. Because what I believe he's trying to do, ladies, is he's trying to get you to understand that you need to accept that high value is not for you. Not because you're necessarily trash, not because you're not necessarily good enough, because you have not been coached into that mindset. Because it's a mindset specifically for a woman. It's a mindset. In order to deal with a high value man, you have to understand that you are always going to come and fall behind those things that are more important than you. That's his mission, his vision, his purpose, business and things like that. And then you may fall third somewhere in there. And then everything else. Most women cannot digest that mindset because media, music has taught you guys that if you have a man in your life, he's supposed to elevate you to the number one spot. I'm here to tell you, ladies, high value men, no. You are replaceable. You are expendable. To secure a high value man requires years of preparation, years of work. That body that you have that is all snatched and tight and all that, that's dedication. You live in the gym. Dropping a baby with a high value man and you being overweight for a year and a half, unacceptable. You better get it back in line months after. You not having the house tidy, you not, being compliant and peace of mind and all that, unacceptable. And that's what I don't think women understand. You hear things like, oh, high value man can cheat. A high value woman doesn't care about this man's promiscuity because she's been prepped to understand that her sole purpose is to serve that man. In return, she is going to get a lifetime of protection, provisions, covering, access. Period. That's the exchange. And she's willing to do that because going out here and working the 40, working the 50, working the 60, being in the world of competition, trying to excel in a oversaturated working market is not her ideal. She's been prepped for this. This woman will look odd to you as a regular modern woman. She'll look odd to you because you won't understand her because you're trying to figure out why she's so subservient or submissive or docile in a sense. And the modern woman now has opinions, feels they need to prove you wrong, feels they need to assert dominance, feels they need to stand in your presence as a high value man and tell you why you're not all you think you are. And that, ladies, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for a high value man. That man moves in a manner that is unlike most men, which is why they're so rare. What I would encourage most women to do is to start to identify with yourself at an early age, what it is that you really want out of life. You should be projecting years in advance what you want to do, how you want to arrive in life. And if you're thinking about a man and you're thinking about your lifestyle, because what I find interesting is that a lot of women, you know, from all of the ones that are interviewed and so on, they all talk about the same thing. They want a man who's going to dedicate energy to their emotional world, their spiritual world, their sexual world, and then they want the finances too. But I'm here to tell you, ladies, a man that is going to be invested in you on those non-tangibles, you know, those interconnected, interpersonal things, that man, more than likely, and this is, again, not in all cases, but more than likely, is not going to be a man of high value. And that's okay. You know, I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with a woman and a man that finds value with each other working together at your respected levels. I've heard women, collectively, time and time again, night after night, get interviewed by these men, and most, if not all, don't want to do nothing, don't want to contribute financially, don't want to have to pay the bills, want to make money but don't want to have to pay bills, which is asinine to me. Why have a paycheck if you don't want to pay bills? Why aspire to get a degree if you plan on living a life that is going to be void of responsibility? It's contradictory, ladies. It makes no freaking sense. Now, what I would encourage and what I believe Kevin has been saying subliminally, and this is me trying to decode it, doing my best to do so, it would be better for most women, the 80-something% of you guys that are normal, to start looking at men in the 80-something%, 90-something percentile, and start working out better deals that work for your respective places in life. You know, I was having a conversation with a young lady a couple of months ago, and she didn't seem like she was so much interested in a high value man, but I asked her some of the same questions. Do you want to have to work when you have kids and so on and so forth? And she was like, no, I want 2 kids, 3 kids, and I want to be able to stay home for at least 5 to 7 years. I said, okay, all right. What would be wrong with a woman? Because see, that's the thing, ladies, you have to start planning your life out in 10-year increments. You leave it to us men to do it, and that's not fair, nor is it right. Because you want what you want, and that's okay. You want certain things, and there's always ways to get what you want. But this whole notion that you're just gonna be basic and regular, and then you're gonna find this man who's exceptional. You're basic, he's exceptional, but he's going to find you and bring you up to his exceptional lifestyle. No, the likeliness of that happening is slim to none. You may get hit by lightning before that occurs. But anyway, I broke down the equation for her. I said, okay, so let's say you're 22, 23, you start your career and you're making 40,000. And you meet a man that's making 60,000. She's like, okay. I said, and you guys find value in each other and you guys decide to be together. She's like, all right. I said, what would be wrong once you've decided that this is the man you want to be with, he want to be with you, everything's working, everything's clicking? What would be wrong with you guys strategizing a lifestyle from that point to use your income to save for the very resources you'll need for you to sit at home for 5 to 7 years? Your 40,000 can go into investment, an investment portfolio or investment avenues, interest-bearing accounts that will yield you money over the course. And you guys live off of his 60,000, downsize, whatever that may occur, however that may look, and you save for 5 years. If you're 22 years old, you'll be 27 when you guys start to have children, so on and so forth. And anyway, not to become long-winded because I'm already going long, this strategy, in my opinion, will work well for most people, because with 60,000 and 40,000, easy math, that's $100,000. But what that allows you to do is that allows you to now not put all the pressure on that man. That allows you to still be beneficial in the equation that is your relationship, both financially as well as the other aspects. And that also allows for him to progress over those years. The assumption is that he's going to get a raise or two or whichever. But that money is working for your family. And see, now you have someone who's more on your level, more relatable, more inclined to connect with you and vibe with you and to give you all of the interconnected things that you want, as well as the financial stability that you've been seeking and looking for. What's wrong with that? And that's what I wanted to come on today and encourage you ladies to really consider and really look after and really try to understand. Most of you are not equipped to be a high value man's wife. And it's apparent, because every time things are asked of you, every time things are said, you guys always try to move the goalposts. Well, if he does this, then I'm gone, or he gonna do this, or what's wrong with him? No. This is set in stone, ladies. This is a hard principle. If you want a man that listens to your opinion, if you want a man that values your perspective, if you want a man that prioritizes you, then you should be looking for men that value the same thing that you do. That's what I'm gonna leave you guys with today. I really hope that you guys got something out of it. I know there's a lot of things I wanted to touch on, and I'm probably gonna continue to do broadcasts similar to this. I went a little longer today. I do apologize. For those who hung out with me, I appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and share the content. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna go ahead and come out with another video because I'm doing it for y'all. I want to see more people win. I want to see more people happy in their life and in their relationships. And that's what I do it for. So this is Daniel Rucker signing out. I'm gonna go ahead and step out the kitchen. And until next time, thank you.